En-Mao's Raw review from Monday the 20th of April 2015. Hi everyone and welcome to this week's Raw review, and tonight's Raw should be a good one as it's the final Raw before the Extreme Rules pay-per-view next Sunday. So far we found out quite a few of the matches for this pay-per-view, but tonight we might find out some more. We start off with a recap with last week's show, and then tonight's Raw comes to us from Albany, New York. And straight away we notice above the ring there's a steel cage. I'm buzzing already as I love steel cage matches, and I hope we've got one tonight. So Randy Orton's music hits and he kicks off Raw tonight. He makes his way to the ring. The steel cage is now surrounding the ring already, and we keep getting reminded by Michael Cole about the stipulations that are in place for Sunday night's main event. Now Randy's in the ring and he's admiring the metal structure surrounding his arena. Randy says that for someone who prides themselves for being the smartest guy in the room, Seth Rollins, you are a dumb bastard. I said this last week as his stipulation of banning the RKO was a very poor choice. Randy continues and pretty much says exactly the same. Randy says that the RKO isn't his biggest weapon, but the ability to dish out pain is. Randy says that Rollins deserves a painful beating and he's going to do this on Sunday. Randy says he's going to break Seth's jaw so that we don't have to listen to him droning on and on again. He says that he will drag Seth's broken body to a corner and then kick him so hard he's going to break bone. Randy is being very sadistic tonight and I love it. He says that Seth is gasping for air and Randy is then going to pick him up and run his face into the cage and continue beating him until Seth is a broken man. And then Randy is going to take and become the World Heavyweight Champion. That seems to get Rollins' attention as his music starts. And he and J&J Security appear on the entrance ramp. Rollins says that he don't want to state the obvious, but Randy appears to have some anger issues. Randy asks if Seth has only just noticed this characteristic. He then continues that he doesn't have anger problems, he has a Seth Rollins problem, and this Sunday he will do everything in his power to eradicate this problem. Seth taunts Randy and the crowd and seems to generate a lot of heat through calling everyone a loser. Seth then says that he plays the game of human chess better than anybody, and that is why he's on track to become the biggest champ of all time. Inside the ring, he can outmaneuver everybody. Outside of the ring, he can outthink everybody, and he says that he's the best at everything. He says if you don't believe him, he's got the title belt to prove it. He then goes on to say that as good as Randy is, Rollins is so much better. Cage or no cage, authority or no authority, after Extreme Rules, Randy will not be walking out as a WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and Seth says that is a promise. He tells Randy that he should get it all out of his system before Sunday. Randy says that's okay. Since the RKO is banned on Sunday, he will get it out of his system tonight. And tonight he's going to RKO every son of a bitch that he sees. And then before Raw goes off air, Randy says that he is going to RKO Seth, and that is a promise. I'm sure that WWE have done this before with Randy Orton, but instead of RKOs, I'm sure it was punts to the head. And if I remember correctly, he wiped out half of the roster, so tonight should be fun leading up to the pay-per-view. Next we are told by Michael Cole that tonight Triple H will be making a major Tough Enough announcement later on in the show. It looks like WWE are going to try and revive this show. I only ever watched the first series of this when it very first started, and I doubt I'll watch a new season of it though. We'll find out what that announcement is later on. Booker T seems very enthusiastic about it though, but this may be because he was a trainer for one of the series. Dean Ambrose's music hits next, and the Lunatic Fringe makes his way to the ring to take on Luke Harper and get revenge for what has happened since WrestleMania between the both of them. You can find out more about this in my previous Raw and Smackdown reviews. Luke Harper makes his way to the ring, but before he does, he asks Dean Ambrose why he isn't afraid of him, but tonight he will be. And with that, he throws down the mic and continues to the ring. Well, that's the first time I've heard him on the mic, and I hope it's pretty much the last. Anyway, the match starts, and Ambrose takes it straight to Harper with punches and a cross body block, and then starts raining down the punches while he's on the floor. He picks Luke Harper up and then does a running bulldog. He then goes for the Dirty Deeds DDT, but Luke Harper reverses it and hits Dean in the jaw with a super kick. Harper's turn now. and he starts punching Ambrose in the head. He scoops Ambrose onto his shoulder and is about to do a move, but Ambrose reverses it and throws Harper out of the ring. I have a feeling this announce table might not be safe here. Dean Ambrose then suicide dives through the ropes and puts Harper straight into the announce table. Ambrose throws Luke Harper into the ring post and then takes the banner off the table. He grabs Harper ready to throw him at the table, but Harper reverses it and throws Ambrose into the crowd over the crowd barrier. They now fight in the crowd. This is like a hardcore match of old, and I mentioned we needed the hardcore title back for these two competitors a few weeks ago in one of my reviews. Is someone from WWE actually watching my reviews? Anyway, they fight through the crowd, trading blows, and eventually Ambrose throws Luke Harper back into the space between the ring and the barrier. Ambrose jumps over, ready to hit Luke in the head, but just as he's coming down, Harper smashes him in the head with a big fist, nearly taking Ambrose's head clean off. Harper picks up Ambrose and throws him at the ring. Ambrose turns around and hits a big clothesline, and then he continues to punch Harper up the entrance ramp. At the top of the ramp, Harper picks up Ambrose and throws him into the light banner. Harper looks at the drop from the stage and picks up Ambrose and scoops him into a powerbomb position, ready to powerbomb him off. But Ambrose reverses it and goes for the DDT. Harper reverses it and then just throws Ambrose off the stage. Ambrose lands though on his feet and Harper runs out to the back of the arena. Dean Ambrose music starts and wait a minute, who won? Was that a double count out or a disqualification? I love these types of matches, but we need to have a winner. But that looks like that's it for this match, and it cuts to the back. Maybe we'll get a winner at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. So we're now backstage, and J&J Security are guarding Seth Rollins. He's paranoid about Randy Orton. He walks past the primetime players, and Titan O'Neil starts barking at Seth and runs up to him. Jamie Noble tells him that he can't be doing stuff like that to the champ, and Titus says he'll leave before he gives the Smurf a beating. Rollins is quite clearly shaken up and sees a member of the production crew laughing. Rollins asks what's so funny and starts being a bit of a dick to the member of staff, and then says the next person to laugh with him will have the floor wiped by him. Rollins turns around and bumps straight into a smiling Triple H. He asks what's going on as Seth and security look a little nervous and if there's an RKO around every corner or something. Seth laughs it off, but you can see that he's scared. Seth tells Triple H that he's not worried or bothered about Randy Orton, but he asks what about Kane? Because of what happened last week. He wondered if Triple H had spoken to him yet. Hunter says that he's got the voicemails and he said that Kane was calling off, but he's been very busy prepping meetings and sorting out the tough enough stuff. Seth says that that's okay. He trusts Triple H to do the right thing, but he can't deal with Randy Orton and Kane at the same time. Triple H says that when Kane gets there, he will have a talk with him. Seth is okay with that, but what about Randy? He says, I could use some more security. Triple H, astonished, looks at Seth and says, Seth, it's only one guy, and walks away. Seth looks petrified. Next up is my favourite tag team at the moment, Sin Cara and Kalisto, the Luchadragons. These guys are awesome to watch, especially Kalisto. Anyway, they're in action next and it's against New Day in a #1 tag team decider match. The winner of this will go on to take on Cesaro and Tyson Kidd at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. After the break, we see that New Day are now in the ring clapping. I don't get this clapping thing. But it's Kofi and Big E performing tonight for New Day, and the crowd are chanting New Day sucks already. The crowd are not wrong. I'm not a big fan of this stable myself. Big E also looks so pissed off. So the match starts, and it's Kofi versus Sin Cara to begin. Before any moves, Sin Cara tags in Kalisto and Kofi tags in Big E. So now it's power against speed and agility. Big E throws Kalisto into the ropes and scoops him up, but Kalisto is like a snake. He slithers everywhere and slithers out of Big E's grip. Big E goes for a clothesline and misses, and Kalisto gets on his back but gets caught by Big E. Big E swings him from his back round to his front and gets a boot to the face from Kalisto, who escapes. Big E then grabs out at Kalisto, but he's too quick and hits a hurricanrana on the big guy. A dropkick keeps him down and he tags in Sin Cara. He takes to the air immediately with a crossbody and takes down Big E. A 1 count and then Big E overpowers Sin Cara and takes him back to his corner and tags in Kofi. Kofi does a move and misses, and they both take to running against the ropes across the ring. This happens several times and they keep jumping over each other. Eventually, Sin Cara catches Kofi with a flying arm drag takedown and takes control of the match again. He puts Kofi on the top turnbuckle, but Kofi looks like he's about to hit a DDT. He doesn't know because Sin Cara reverses it and hits a fisherman's suplex. A 2 count and Kofi kicks out. He throws Kofi into the ropes and tries to follow up with a double kick, but Kofi sidesteps this and Sin Cara flies out of the ring. He then sees Xavier Woods, who's getting in his face, and Kofi double kicks him from inside the ring. Kofi gets him back in the ring and then starts laying the boot in. Kofi tags in Big E and he continues. Sin Cara needs to tag. Big E then tags in Kofi again, who continues the assault, and they keep doing this for quite a while. This happens quite often, and eventually Big E swings Kofi round and whips him into Sin Cara, who's managed to get back to his feet. At this point, Kofi hits a drop kick. Kofi goes for the pin, but Sin Cara kicks out. Big E tags in one more and goes to punch Sin Cara. He reverses it this time though, and a boot to the gut changes things. He tries to tag Kalisto, but Big E stops him and hits a clothesline. After the commercial, Kofi is in the ring again against Sin Cara, and he hits another drop kick. The punches then rain down, and he tags in Big E, who hits Sin Cara in the stomach, and then stands there clapping. Sin Cara gets up and mounts a massive comeback and eventually gets a tag with Kalisto. Big E also tags Kofi. Kalisto takes it to the top rope and hits Kofi with a high cross body block and then a spinning tornado off the ropes. Kofi gets straight up into a hurricanrana and then the pace has really quickened up. Kalisto goes for the pin, but Big E makes a save. Big E picks up Kalisto and throws him at the ropes, but he springs back with a kick to the head and Big E goes down and flies out the ring. Kofi runs at Kalisto and he is also launched out of the ring. The Luchadragons both climb to the top rope and then both hit a flying moonsault to Kofi and Big E outside the ring. That was awesome. All 4 competitors are down and the referee is counting. Xavier Woods heads under the ring and what is he doing? The referee is on an 8 count and both Kofi and Sin Cara are just about to get in the ring. Kofi does, but then Xavier Woods appears from under the ring and holds onto Sin Cara's legs and stops him from getting in the ring. The ref counts out the Luchadragons and New Day now are #1 contenders for the tag team titles at Extreme Rules. What a great match by the Luchadragons though. I just wish they'd won. It won't be long till they get their title shot and become the champions. I can't wait for their next match now though, next week. And wow, that double moonsault was freaking awesome. So while New Day is celebrating their win, out of nowhere an RKO hits Xavier Woods and Big E is thrown to the outside. When Kofi realises what's going on, he also gets delivered an RKO. Big E stands on the ring apron and Orton tells him to come into the ring. Big E chickens out though and walks back up the ramp, leaving Orton standing in the ring over the fallen New Day team. Well, Randy said he was going to do it and is now putting that threat into practice. Who will be next? So after Michael Cole, Booker T and JBL have finished advertising the WWE Network and what's on it, we are then told that on Sunday we will see the very first ever televised Russian chain match, and that's when John Cena will take on Rusev. That's as long as John Cena survives his open offer for anyone to challenge him for his title later on Raw tonight. We are then shown last Monday night where Cena defeated Wade Barrett in the UK, and we are then shown the assault by Rusev punching Cena in the back of the head with a chain. You can see more about this on my previous Raw review. After the break, we're also shown what happened to Roman Reigns last week and the assault that the Big Show carried out where he hit him into a taxi cab. You can hear more about that from my previous show as well. The link will be in the description box below. Apparently they'll settle this dispute at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view and it's going to be done via a last man standing match. That should be awesome. Fandango's music hits and the crowd start finger dancing, and tonight he's against Curtis Axel, who's already in the ring dancing away to Fandango's music. The match starts and Curtis starts punching Fandango in the head. He throws Fandango into the ropes and hits a drop kick. He then screams Axel Mania and then rips his shirt off like Hulk Hogan used to do many years ago. The difference is that the Hulkster used to win matches. As he rips the shirt off, Fandango goes for a roll-up pin and gets a 2 count. Axel kicks out. Fandango continues to beat Axel and hits a kind of suplex Michinoku driver and heads to the top turnbuckle. A huge leg drop from the top, and it's good night Axel with a 1-2-3, and Fandango picks up the victory. Something weird happens as they don't start Fandango's music and they play something else instead. I just think the sound guy got it wrong, because eventually Fandango's music starts playing. While Fandango celebrates his win dancing with the crowd, we are told that the winner takes all match between Miz and Mizdow will be taking place later on tonight. We are then shown Triple H walking backstage on his way to the ring for the first time since WrestleMania, but tonight he's not here to compete, he's here to tell us about Tough Enough, and that's after the commercials. Triple H makes his way to the ring, and as he does, we're reminded by the commentators about the Monday Night Wars, how they happened at WrestleMania again during the Triple H match where he defeated Sting, and the NWO and DX made an appearance. Triple H says that several months ago the Authority hit a crossroads and needed to find a new face of the WWE, one who could over the next 10 years lead the WWE against the next generation of superstars, and they found that guy. His name is Seth Rollins. He continues and says that now it's time to find the next Seth Rollins on Tough Enough, and that starts in July. He goes on to say, who wants to be a WWE superstar? And basically someone has the opportunity to become a WWE superstar, and someone will be chosen from the 10 men and 5 women to win a WWE contract at the end of the Tough Enough reality TV show. Cena, take note, that is what you call opportunity, and it's open to everyone to try and become the next WWE superstar. I think the only guy from the previous Tough Enough shows, though, who is still in the WWE is The Miz. Triple H tells the world to show that they are tough enough, and Kane's music hits. He then makes his way to the ring, and Kane says that all week he's sent many messages and texts and emails to Triple H, and it has been an honour to be the director of operations, but he can no longer deal with the disrespect he's getting from the man he helped to become the champion. So Kane says since Triple H has put his faith into someone who Kane doesn't like, Kane has no other option than to hand in his resignation, and gives Triple H 2 weeks notice. Surely Kane's notice period should be longer than this, because he's been there for 20 odd years. Triple H says don't do something you will regret, and asks Kane to go backstage with him and talk it out. Rollins interrupts and says if Kane wants to quit, let him. The Authority don't need a loser like Kane anyway. Kane says it's funny how Seth didn't call him a loser last week when he had his hands around Seth's throat. Rollins reminds Kane that last week it was his job to lose. Rollins goes on to say that Kane sucked up his pride, put his tail between his legs and became a coward. But he did what he was told because that's what he always does. Kane gets angry and says Rollins is just a punk who has been given everything and thinks he has earned it. He shouts, "You are only the champion because we made you the champion." Kane says he personally gave Rollins the Money in the Bank match. He then asks Rollins if he thinks it would have been any different if they had recruited Dean Ambrose instead. Kane says if they had wanted to, they could have made El Torino the champion. Seth and Kane get into each other's faces and Triple H breaks it up. Triple H reminds Rollins that this is not how they do business. Rollins looks like a scolded schoolboy. Triple H says Kane last week did what was best for business, and that's what he always does, and no one has been more loyal than Kane, which is why at Extreme Rules Kane will be the guardian of the gate. If anyone wants to get in or out of the cage, they have to go past Kane. Kane thanks Triple H, but Rollins has a problem with this. Triple H tells Rollins to get on the same page as Kane really fast. Kane offers to shake Rollins' hand and Rollins shakes it and walks away fast up the ring. So that makes the Extreme Rules match a lot more interesting. We're now shown footage of Paige winning the Divas Battle Royale last week to become the #1 contender for the Divas Championship, and we are shown the attack then from Naomi, who's put Paige out of action until further notice. Naomi is in action though tonight next against Brie Bella. After the commercials, we're backstage, and before this match is shown, Kane and Rollins are getting a roasting from Triple H about their actions in the ring just. Kane is told that he is corporate now and that he should act like it. He is no longer Hellfire and Brimstone. Kane says yes he is, and he's going to prove it, and walks off. Rollins then tries to stir trouble with Triple H, but Triple H says it took a lot of people to make him the champion, especially Kane, and he needs to appreciate that. Triple H says that holding the belt proves nothing, defending it proves everything. Triple H then says that tonight Seth Rollins will have the match he was supposed to have last week against Dolph Ziggler. Rollins says that he won't just face Ziggler tonight, he will destroy him. And when he's done, the world will know all about Seth Rollins. So it's back to the Divas action, and Naomi makes her way to the ring. And while she does, we see a promo from Naomi saying that she's done with waiting to be noticed. And how many times will she need to beat a Bella before she gets her title shot? Brie Bella makes her way to the ring with Nikki Bella, and the match starts. They lock up, and it's just your typical Divas match. Slow moves and slow punches. Naomi deals a lot of kicks to Brie Bella's face at the start of the match, and Brie then starts a comeback with several punches to the face and a flying clothesline. Naomi fights back, but when she gets up, she gives several knees to the stomach and then throws Brie out of the ring. After the break, Naomi has Brie in the headlock back in the middle of the ring. Naomi dominates the match for the next 5 minutes until both competitors hit a double clothesline. Brie makes it back to her feet first and then goes apparently into Brie mode. She hits running knees and a missile dropkick from the second rope and then gets a 2 count. Naomi retakes control and smashes Brie's head into the turnbuckle. Naomi heads to the top rope and misses with a cross-body block. Brie tries to crawl across and pin, but only gets a 2 count. Naomi gets up and punches Brie in the face and then hits a rear view, scoops her legs and gets a 3 count to defeat another Bella twin. Will Naomi now get her title shot? Backstage in the mess hall, and Heath Slater is talking to Eric Rowan and says that he might go for Cena's title tonight. Rowan just gets up and walks away. Heath Slater complains, and just as he does that, he's put through the table with an RKO from Randy Orton. Orton stands up, takes a bite out of a crisp, and then says, "Makes 3," and walks away. We're then reminded by Michael Cole what Randy said earlier about RKOing people, and he's going to try and finish it with Seth Rollins. Roman Reigns makes his way to the ring to talk about what happened last week with the Big Show slamming him into the taxi. We are then shown footage of what happened last week, and you can hear a more in-depth review about this from my previous Raw review. It set up this weekend's match between Big Show and Reigns in a last man standing match at Extreme Rules. Roman says he doesn't feel like talking, he feels like fighting and calls out the Big Show. Bo Dallas comes out though and says that he couldn't help but hear the anger in Roman's voice. He then retorts Yoda's line from Star Wars about hate leading to suffering. He says Roman has suffered a lot since being slammed last week and suffering since failing at WrestleMania. Bo Dallas says that Roman should face it, you are kind of a bust, and then makes his way to the ring. Bo continues to mock Reigns about his failures. He says that it doesn't matter what people think, he knows that one day Roman could be champion. He says if Roman works hard, his dreams can all come true, and all he needs to do is Bo-leave. A Superman punch shows Dallas what he thinks to that idea, and Bo Dallas gets straight up into a spear. He then gets a mic and says if the Big Show had any guts he would have been out there tonight, but on Sunday he will bring it to the big fight to the Big Show, and he will be the last man standing, and you can believe that. Sheamus' music starts and he appears on the entrance ramp and makes his way to the ring, and we are then told about the Kiss My Ass match that Sheamus is going to have against Dolph Ziggler on Sunday. Zack Ryder's music starts, and I nearly forgot whose music this is, as we haven't seen him on WWE TV for ages. Anyway, he makes his way to the ring, and Sheamus has a mic and tells the ref to ring the bell. And then he says, before we get started, and hits a bro kick on Ryder, putting him straight down. That was quick. Sheamus says that was easy and says he could pin Ryder right now, 1, 2, 3. But where's the fun in that? He says Zack deserves more than a 5-second match, and he then starts bullying Zack in the corner. Sheamus puts Ryder on the top turnbuckle and keeps hitting him until he falls off the top. Sheamus says he doesn't deserve to be in his ring and throws Ryder over the top rope and to the floor. Sheamus climbs out of the ring and starts mocking the crowd. He then follows up with another bro kick on Zack Ryder. He gets back in the ring and then continues assaulting Zack Ryder. He goes for a third bro kick, but this time Dolph Ziggler is there to make the save, and he hits a zigzag on Sheamus, who rolls out of the ring. He saves himself from a beating. Ziggler then checks on Zack and tells Sheamus to come back and finish what he started. Sheamus actually wins the match though as well to rub salt in the wound via disqualification. I don't think that Zack Ryder cares though, as he's still seeing stars. The next match is a John Cena Open Invitational for the US title. Well, we know the challenger won't be Zack Ryder or Heath Slater. Anyway, Cena makes his way to the ring and the crowd starts singing John Cena sucks. So who's going to be his next opponent? Cena cuts a promo about being extreme, and at the pay-per-view on Sunday he says that he's going to give Rusev his second loss like his first loss at WrestleMania. Cena says that Rusev isn't happy with just a match and he wants to destroy him. He says that is why Rusev chose a Russian chain match. Cena then explains the rules to a Russian chain match, and I'm sure he did this last week as well. Cena then says that as long as he has life in him, he will continue to fight to win. He says he will prove that his win at WrestleMania was not a fluke, it was a statement. A statement that the champ is here. He then says that on Sunday, he will shove the chain up Rusev's ass. Cena then offers a challenge to everyone in the back. You want some? Come and get some. Kane's music hits. Wow, maybe Cena will lose before Sunday because Kane is pissed off. The match starts and kicks and punches fly from Kane. Kane absolutely decimates Cena and takes a fight outside the ring. He continues a beatdown and then throws Cena into the ring again. He slowly stalks him, but this gives Cena enough time to start mounting a comeback until Kane hits a sidewalk slam. Kane goes for the pin and gets a 2 count and then picks Cena up and whips him into the corner. Cena rolls out of the ring. Cena then tries to fight back outside the ring, but Kane drills him into the barrier. Cena manages to get back in the ring by an 8 count. Kane continues the beatdown and tries to cover again, but only gets a 2 count. Cena just can't seem to get going and is getting his ass whooped by Kane. It's like the Kane of old. Cena then tries to come back again, but Kane stops it once again before it starts. This is very short-lived though, as Super Cena is now in the building and Kane hits Cena into a corner and goes in after him. Cena sidesteps and gets Kane with his own sidewalk slam. Cena now does the "you can't see me" taunt and goes for a 5-knuckle shuffle. But just as he's about to do it, Kane reaches up and grabs his throat. Kane hits a chokeslam, and surely Cena's US title reign is now over, as this usually beats most opponents. But this is John Cena. Kane goes for the pin, and Cena kicks out at 2. Kane is furious and can't believe that happened. Kane taunts for a tombstone, and John Cena walks straight into it. Cena counters though and hits an attitude adjustment and gets the 3 count. Now that's what you call bullshit. Cena retains and he's going to face Rusev on Sunday at Extreme Rules. Kane lays broken in the ring and Seth Rollins mocks a TV that he's just watched with the match on, and Cena holds the belt aloft as he walks backwards up the ramp. He gets to the top of the ramp, holds his belt up Cena style, salutes the crowd again, and then makes his way to the back. As up next is the winner-take-all match between Miz and Damian Mizdow. Kane makes his way to the back and Triple H says nothing. The disappointed look on his face says it all. Miz is now talking to Renee Young, and she says that tonight the whole Miz Brand is on the line. Miz stops her and says that he's the A-list superstar, not the stunt double. He's not the assistant. He is the Miz. He is the reason Sandow has a job in the WWE, and he says Sandow has the audacity to challenge him for his brand. That is an absolute joke. He then plugs his new movie on Blu-ray and DVD. Renee Young cuts him off though, as apparently Byron Saxton is going to interview John Cena, the champion, instead. This pisses the Miz right off. So Byron congratulates Cena on his win, and Cena says he didn't expect Kane to accept the challenge. He says that's what's great about the Open Challenge, and with that, Rusev punches Cena in the back of the head with a chain again, pretty much knocking him out. He then puts Cena into a camel clutch and uses the chain to strangle him. Rusev holds Cena in the hold for a few seconds until a referee manages to break it up. God knows why Cena didn't just use his free hand though, and Cena lays beat on the floor as we go to a break. Next match now is a winner-take-all match, and the Miz music hits, but Damian Sandow and Summer Rae make their way to the ring. While this happens, we are shown what happened on Smackdown. Click the annotation at the end of the video or the link below to watch my review on it from last Thursday. Next up, the Miz's music plays again, and out comes the Miz. Well, it's all on the line for him tonight. We are shown as he makes his way to the ring, the Miz participating in Tough Enough years ago. So the match starts, and let's hope that this match is a little longer than the previous matches because of what's at stake tonight. The Miz tries to punch Sandow, who ducks and goes for a roll-up. He gets a 2 count and the Miz kicks out. Miz backs off and stays in the corner while the ref holds off Sandow. Miz then takes control and does a really weak backbreaker and goes for a backslide. Sandow wins it and gets a 2 count. The Miz gets out and retreats to the outside of the ring. Miz points at Summer Rae and Sandow slides out of the ring and gives chase to the Miz. He gets in the ring and goes for a roll-up again. Sandow then kicks out. Miz lays punches and kicks into Sandow and then beats him in the corner. Miz then sets up Sandow for his finisher, but Sandow reverses it and hits a backbreaker with a neckbreaker and then charges the Miz in the corner. Mizdow hits a swinging neckbreaker, and as the Miz is getting up, Sandow plants him with a DDT. He goes for the pin, but the Miz kicks out at 2. Sandow goes for the skull-crushing finale, but Miz slides out and hits a roll-up for 2. Sandow escapes and runs at the Miz, who delivers a big boot that nearly kicks Mizdow's head clean off. Miz goes for a skull-crushing finale, but Sandow escapes and grabs the ropes and leans through them. While Sandow's leaning through the ropes, Summer Rae scratches the eyes of Sandow. I never saw that coming, and neither did Mizdow. He staggers back into the ring, and Miz hits a skull-crushing finale and rolls Sandow over for the pin. Miz gets to keep his brand. Summer Rae screwed Mizdow, literally, and Sandow may now be off to the job centre. Summer Rae celebrates a win with Miz in the ring, and the Miz gets a mic and says, "It's fitting to say this one more time. I'm the Miz, and I'm RKO out of nowhere," and Randy Orton strikes again. Randy walks around the ring holding 4 fingers in the air, smiling. Seth Rollins had better watch out tonight. Next up, we are then told all of the matches for the Extreme Rules pay-per-view, starting with the stipulation match between Orton and Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Next is Cena versus Rusev in the Russian chain match, and then Daniel Bryan will take on Wade Barrett, health permitting, for the Intercontinental title. Dolph Ziggler will fight Sheamus in a Kiss My Ass match, and Roman Reigns will take on The Big Show in a Last Man Standing match. A new match that has just been made tonight is Dean Ambrose taking on Luke Harper in a Chicago street fight, and The New Day will take on Cesaro and Kid for the Tag Team Champions. You'll be able to watch my review the following day for this pay-per-view, hopefully, if I manage to get it all completed in time. Bray Wyatt then cuts a promo referring to this person, again, that he's been referring to over the past few weeks, and their fear. He mentions that they can lift all the weights in the world, but it won't help them. I have no clue who he's referring to. He says that he can't wait to defeat this person so that all their hard work has been for nothing and it will all fade away. And so will you, friend. God damn it, cryptic clues. Behold the new face of fear, and then he looks up to the sky and the camera cuts off in the usual way. Next match is Adam Rose versus Ryback, and this seems to be a bit of a weird match to have as it's just a filler. We are then told that Ryback came from Tough Enough 2004. I didn't even remember this, and I didn't think he was in the WWE all that long. Maybe I was wrong. Anyway, the match starts, and it's not going to be a long one. Ryback is far too powerful for Adam Rose. Ryback starts off really strong, and Adam Rose hits a missile dropkick from the top rope, flooring Ryback. He then lays the elbow into Ryback several times and goes for the pin. Ryback nearly throws him out of the arena when he kicks out free. Adam Rose then tries to go for a sleeper hold on Ryback, and he powers out of the move by dropping back onto him. He then sets up for the clothesline and hits it really hard. He picks Adam Rose up for the shell shock, and he does so. A 3 count, and Ryback wins. 2 guys dressed like a hot dog and a banana get into the ring from Adam Rose's exotic train, and I'm going to guess that they are about to both take an RKO for being weird. Nope. Ryback clotheslines their heads off instead. He then picks them up and shell shocks them both at the same time. He then gets a mic and says, "What did the banana say to the hot dog?" Nothing, because their asses just got shell shocked. Feed Me More rings around the arena, and we see Rosa Mendes tending to a hurt Adam Rose. Renee Young then stops Kane in the corridor for an interview. You can see that he's not in the mood for this. He storms off into Triple H's office, and Seth is in there with J&J Security and Triple H. Seth Rollins apologises to Kane and blames Orton for putting him on edge. Rollins then tells Kane that he appreciates everything that Kane has done for him and that he will dedicate his match against Ziggler to Kane next. Rollins walks out of the office and heads to the ring. He's lucky as Randy Orton just watches him walk down the corridor. After the break, it's time for tonight's main event, Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins. Dolph Ziggler makes his way to the ring ready to take on the champ. Seth's music hits and he makes his way to the ring as well with his stooges. The cage is still above the ring from earlier and it hasn't been used yet. Let's hope it's used in this match, but it doesn't seem to be as of yet. Anyway, Ziggler and Rollins starts off and Rollins takes an early advantage with a few kicks. He gets Dolph Ziggler into a corner and starts stamping down on him. Ziggler fights back and throws Rollins into the corner and then his fists start flying. He gets Rollins out of the corner and hits a neck breaker and a flying elbow and then goes for the pin. Rollins kicks out and they both get up and Rollins now takes control with a kick to the stomach. Ziggler Irish whips Rollins into the ropes and then follows up with a clothesline to the outside. Both competitors hit the floor. Ziggler tells J&J Security to stay back and carries on the assault on Rollins. They both then head back to the ring and Rollins starts to get the upper hand till Ziggler does a standing drop kick. He goes for the cover, but it's a kick out at one. Dolph hits a suplex, but it's not enough as he goes for a drop kick again. This time, Rollins catches his legs and flips Ziggler into the turnbuckle. Ziggler falls to the outside and Raw goes to its final break of the evening. When it returns, Rollins has Ziggler in a headlock and Ziggler fights out. Rollins continues and Ziggler makes it look like he's struggling. Punches and kicks keep Ziggler down, and as well as a side belly-to-belly suplex. Then the kicks start raining down again on Ziggler. Rollins wasn't lying when he said he was going to destroy Ziggler tonight. I may have spoken too soon because Ziggler hits a jawbreaker and now he's going to make a comeback. Rollins runs in to hit Dolph Ziggler but gets an elbow to the face. He runs in and launches himself again at Ziggler, but Dolph steps aside and Rollins hits the turnbuckles. Both men are down. Rollins is the first back to his feet with the help of the corner and he sets Dolph up for another suplex, but Ziggler flips, lands on his feet and hits a clothesline. Dolph starts gaining some momentum and then tries to hit another neck breaker. Rollins punches him off and kicks him in the stomach once more. Ziggler jumps at Rollins, misses, and Rollins goes for a kick. He misses too. Ziggler don't miss this time and plants Rollins with a massive DDT. He flies about 3 feet in the air after impact and Ziggler goes for the pin and gets a 2 count. They get up and Ziggler goes for a scissor kick and misses. Rollins tries a kick and Ziggler blocks. He doesn't block the following enziguri though. Rollins then gets a 2 count again and then Rollins picks up Ziggler for the powerbomb, but Ziggler slides down his back and goes for a pin. Rollins kicks out again and Ziggler hits a super kick. Surely that has to be it. Ziggler for the pin and gets 2 again. Both men struggle back to their feet, but then Sheamus suddenly appears. Ziggler's attention moves to him and he forgets all about the champ for a second. That's a fatal mistake, because as soon as he turns around, Rollins hits a combo on him and finishes Ziggler with a front facelock buster, and that's it. Rollins rolls the champ up to get the 3 count. Sheamus walks up the ramp smiling and Rollins gets a mic. He says he did what he said he was going to do tonight and he proved that he is the man. And as for Randy Orton at Extreme Rules, his RKO won't save him. Triple H's music hits and he heads to the ring. He then takes the mic off Rollins and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, the man who will defeat Randy Orton on Sunday, Seth Rollins." He holds aloft the title belt. Rollins takes the mic off Triple H just as he's about to start speaking and he says, "Let me finish." Rollins goes on about pinning Randy on Sunday. He then starts taking the piss out of Kane again and Kane's music hits. Kane starts making his way down to the ring. Triple H, J&J Security try to stop Kane from getting to Seth in the ring. Seth calls for the cage to be lowered and the cage comes down and gets down just before Kane can get to the ring. Unfortunately though, for Seth Rollins, Randy Orton is in the ring inside the cage and Raw goes off the air with Randy carrying out his promise from earlier and does a massive RKO to Rollins straight out of nowhere. Triple H looks at his choice of champion shaking his head, and Kane stands there just laughing. Anyway, my next Raw review will be after the pay-per-view. I hope you've enjoyed this Raw review, but be sure to check back for my Smackdown review later on in the week. And until then, thanks for watching, and bye for now. So, I hope you all enjoyed this week's Raw review. If you did, hit the like button and share the video with your friends. Please leave a comment about wrestling in the comment section, and please subscribe to my channel for more wrestling videos and gameplay videos. Click the screen in the centre for more wrestling reviews. Once again, thanks for watching. I hope to see you on the next video, and until then, bye for now.